There comes a point in your career, most time in the first year, probably in the first few months, that you're going to be asking yourself something kind of dangerous. Being in the trucking industry, you're going to be asking yourself, am I really cut out for this? And the reason I say dangerous is because you're thinking maybe about quitting already, and there's no need in that. It may happen after maybe you struggle to back into a spot. I struggled to back into the one I'm in today. It happens sometimes. Maybe it's going to happen whenever dispatch gives you a load that just doesn't make sense. You're like, hey, I can't make that. Maybe it's going to happen after you've been sitting in your truck at night hundreds of miles away from anybody or anything you know, and you're like, why in the crap am I doing this? And a lot of the time, drivers think that they're just failing because of all of these different issues. You're not failing. I mean, it's just part of growing into the job. It's just part of growing into the trucking industry. Trucking's not easy. It's not easy, and it's not for everyone. Maybe it's the over the road's not for you, or regional's not for you, or trucking in general is not for you. That's something you have to figure out for yourself. But all of these the little things that are just kind of discouraging you, don't let them discourage you, because they happen. It's just part of it. I still struggle with some things occasionally myself, and I've been doing this near 30 years. Anyone that says they haven't struggled with backing or other situations has not been in it very long. As far as struggling with the backing, I get it. You get into a shipper or receiver or whatever, and you're trying to back into a dock and it's really tight. You have a bunch of trucks zooming around you, or even truck stops. You have trucks moving around you, and they're waiting on you to get done, and you get really nervous, and you just feel like push, push, push. And you're like, hey, I went to school for this. Why can't I back into this? All the school does is give you enough instruction to get your driver's license. Whenever you're with your trainer, they give you enough of instruction, hopefully, that you don't get into any kind of bad situation or, damage a truck or vehicle or hurt someone. That's what they're there for. The real training is whenever you get by yourself and you hit this different dock here, you have to back into this dock or this way, or alley dock into something, blindside into things. You figure it out as you go, because the only way you're going to get better at backing is do more backing. Don't let backing problems discourage you from driving a truck, because really and truly they're a small part of the trucking industry. So don't let them discourage you. Don't get so discouraged and then pulled down by, oh, it took me 10 minutes to back into that spot. I had rather it take you 10 minutes to back into that spot and get out 10 or 15 times to back in that spot and look and make sure where you're going than back in it in 30 seconds and run over something. And I know a lot of people are the same way. So just take your time, do your backing. It will come with time, people. Trust me, it will come with time. I didn't just jump into a truck and be the #1 backer in the world. I still, like I said, there's times you're going to get up. I don't care how much experience you get. You're going to try to back into a spot sometimes, and you may be tired or distracted or have something on your mind, and you're going to have to pull up, back up, pull up, back up, pull up, back up. It's just part of it, folks. But over time, you're going to get into a spot where you're like, wow, that's going to be hard to get into, and then you just back it right in there, and you're like, okay, I got it done, and end of story. Because it becomes so natural after you do it for a while that you're good, you're great. Just move on. You don't even brag about it. You just put it in there and move on. So don't let the backing be an issue. It's not. It's really not. Just practice. It'll come with time. Another thing that really, I don't know, it can be a problem at times. I have a lot of comments on this on different videos or what have you. But dealing with dispatch, because that becomes a real pain at times. Sometimes not, sometimes yes, sometimes no, whatever. But say they give you a load, and you're like, this is not going to work. I don't believe this is going to work. There's no way. And they're looking at their computer. They're like, oh, you have X amount of hours. You're here to here. you're here to there. There's no, yeah, it'll work fine. You'll be great. Just move on and go on. And whenever you do your analyzing of the load or situation, you get two different answers because you're out there, you're seeing traffic they don't see. You're seeing maybe weather they haven't thought about looking at because they're freaking 1,000 miles away or what have you. You're seeing, okay, I'm held up at a shipper or receiver for, 2 or 3 hours, and then you have to deal with them. Dealing with dispatch as a new driver can be very irritating because a lot of dispatchers just really don't think you know what you're talking about, even though you're sitting right there in it, even though you may have an experienced driver, telling them the same thing. They're just like, well, you just have to do it and move on. Just do it. Move on. If you get there on time, you get there on time. If not, you can say, I told you so, and move on. Don't let it stress you out so much. Dealing with dispatchers or shippers or receivers, don't let it stress you out. I know that's easy for me to say. I've been doing it for a long time, but if you let it stress you out, that's going to make you want to quit trucking as well, because if it's over and over and over, it can be very, very irritating. I know this a lot. So just take your time, work through the problem. If they don't want to listen to you and they want you to run the load anyway, run the load. If it's late, it's on them. Be sure you have written proof, whether a text or email or whatever. Hey, I told you this is not going to work, but I'll run it anyway if you want me to. Cover your butt. There you go. CYA. Just keep that in mind, and don't let dispatch problems be an end to your career. Not every dispatch interaction is going to be bad. Just deal with it as you come to it, and don't stress over it. I think the next one is so big. I did it myself. I mean, whenever I first started, I was thinking I was going to make all of this money, and which I did eventually, make pretty good money. But the guy I started with to train me, he literally paid me $250 a week. And then that was while I didn't have my license, I was training to drive. And once I got my license, he bumped it up to $275 like it was some big deal. But I did that for, 2 or 3 months. And this has been, 30 years ago. You have to be patient with the pay. Hopefully it's not that bad, but you have to be patient with the pay, because I did that for about, I think 3 months. And then I got a different job. And it went from, $275 a week to about $1,400 a week. And 30 years ago, that's a lot of money, especially where I lived in Alabama, North Alabama. It was really good money. So it was kind of a boost. Don't let the recruiters, whenever they're talking to you about money, don't let them BS you. Do your research on what actually you will get paid. You can go online at different companies. Look at their reviews from drivers. There's a lot of reviews from drivers and what their pay is and everything. Do some research, and don't just listen to 100% of what a recruiter is telling you. Oh, you're going to make so much money. It's most likely a bunch of BS. So just keep that in mind, and don't let the pay discourage you, because it will go up over time. More experience you get, the faster you're going to be able to get from point A to point B. Your backing is going to get better. Your load planning is going to get better, or trip planning is going to get better. Just everything just gets better. You learn how to drive for, extended periods of time. Keep the door shut. You keep your left door shut, and you're going to make some miles. Try to do, if you have longer runs, try to do 500-600 miles a day if you can. Some days you can, some days you can't. It just depends on how fast your truck will run, the weather, the traffic. There's a lot of different things, but do all you can do. Don't kill yourself, but get you a good rhythm, and that's the way to do it, because the better rhythm you have and you get better miles, you're going to make more money. More miles you run, more money you make. I don't care if you're getting paid percentage or paid per mile. Quicker you can get there, the more money you've made, and that's what we're here for, is to make money. But that is one of the biggest things that I see that a lot of drivers want to quit driving for, is because they're not making the money. And there's a lot of companies now that they are paying, between 90 and $1.10 a mile, 90 cents to $1.10 a mile, depending on the company. You have to do your research, folks. Do your research and find these companies. Get with a good company, maybe one you can stick with. Don't necessarily just try to find a starter company. If that's what you have to do, you have to do. 6 months, a year in, if you're not happy there, bounce to another company that has better pay, maybe better benefits, whatever it might be. Don't feel like you have to stay stuck. I had a comment on a video a few days ago. This driver was, or person, I'm assuming a driver, I think he was a driver, but was saying, how do you say you can give pushback after you get a little experience? They have 20 or 30 drivers in orientation every Monday, and you give a little pushback, and then they're just going to set you and starve you out, and then whenever they're done with you, they're going to have you come to a terminal, clean out your truck, and then put this new guy in it. They can do that, but you can also go to a different company. There's around 700,000 trucks in this country. Surely you can find one that's going to fit what you need and what you want to make. Keep that in mind. Don't think it's just them just kicking you out of your job or firing you or whatever. You can fire them just as easy, and they're just as easily replaced as you are. Keep that in mind, drivers, as you go through your career. Don't feel stuck all of the time. Don't feel like they just got you, holding you down to one thing. You're not restricted to one company. I don't encourage job hopping, but you're not restricted to one company. If they're treating you like crap, move on. Don't quit because of the one company that's giving you problems. The next one is the lifestyle. This lifestyle is a lot different than a lot of people are used to. People they go to work, then they go home, then they do whatever at night, whatever, go to bed, get up, go to work, and then they have the weekend off, what have you. Trucking's not like that. Most of the time you get 1 day off, most of the time, for every week that you're out. So if you're out 3 weeks, you get 3 days off. If you're out 5 weeks, you get 5 days off. Some companies cap that at 5 or 6 days. So you just have to check with the company that you're with. But that lifestyle to a lot of people is really hard. They don't expect to have to work that much for that little bit of a time off. One company I was with, they would cap it at 5 days, but most of the time I would get like at least 7, because I would come in, okay, I'm gonna start my off time on a Monday, and then they don't dispatch on the weekend, so it would be the next Monday before they would dispatch me and to go grab a load. Because a lot of places that flatbed trucks go don't load on the weekends. There's some that do, but a lot of them don't. So anyway, you just have to figure that out for yourself. Don't let the lifestyle, is what I'm getting at, get to you enough that you have to, or feel like you need to quit your job because it's just more than you can handle. You can handle this, it's just you have to give it time to get accustomed to it. And if you really want to, like I said, this is not for everyone. And if it just doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But don't let that be the one sole thing that's, gonna make you want to quit driving. There are ways to work with the off time. A lot of people say you can't get a local job, or you gotta have over the road first, or what have you. That's total BS. You can get a local job. I mean, unless there's just not any local jobs to be had around where you live. Maybe you're out in the middle of nowhere, I don't know. But most of the time, you'll be able to get a local job just as easily as you can get an over the road or a regional. You have to do the work to find the jobs. You have to do the research. You have to call the companies. You have to go knock on their doors, whatever it is. You have to do all of this stuff. They're not going to come give it to you just because you went through school. So keep that in mind. If you don't think you can handle being gone over the road, try to find a local job or even a regional job so you're home every weekend. And then most people that get home on the weekends, you get at least a 34-hour reset at home. Keep that in mind. Don't let the over the road discourage you from continuing to drive. Whenever you're looking at your career also, especially as you're in your first year, don't compare yourself to someone else. Don't compare yourself to me or, someone else has got 10 or 15 years or 5 years of experience. You just started. Don't be comparing yourself to someone else, because That's gonna drain you. That's gonna drain you because, oh, I can't do as good as him. Why can't I do as good as him? 30 years compared to 1 year, there's a lot of difference there. You have to learn. You have to take your time. You have to learn the ins and outs. You know, I go here, I back like this, I pull up, you know, set up like this. Whatever it is, you have to give yourself time to learn what you're doing. Whether it's backing, whether it's paperwork, whether it's dealing with dispatch, shippers, receivers, planning your trip from point A to point B, whatever it is, don't compare yourself to other people that has a lot of experience or a lot more experience than you have. You're improving daily. Don't let it drag you down, folks. You're going to improve daily from your breath, every bit of it. Every bit of it I said, you're going to improve daily. Believe me on that. It's just constant improvement. And then it gets to the point where you have improved enough that you're doing things and you just don't realize that you're doing them. You know, maybe you're running around your truck or walking around your truck doing your pre-trip. You're looking at stuff, but you're not verbalizing it, but you know what you're seeing. But if someone asks you what you're looking at, you're like, what? You know, it just becomes natural. You're looking around, you're looking for castle nuts with cotter pins. You're looking for leaky wheel seals. You're looking for brakes that are worn out. You're looking for leaky shocks or just all kinds of stuff. You're listening for air leaks, whatever it may be. You're going to get better at it, and it's just going to be supernatural. So don't compare yourself from where you're at to where someone else is at 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 years down the road. There's no comparison. You have to learn, and once you get with it and just a rhythm, it's going to come so easy, and you're going to out whatever. You're going to have aggravating days, but you just whatever and get past it and move on. That's just how it is in the trucking world. So all of this basically to say, your first year, you're going to feel like you're failing a lot more than you're actually having success. It's just how it is, because you're learning to control your truck. You're learning to manage your clock. You're learning how to back. You're learning how to deal with dispatch. You're learning everything. Even a DOT officer. I got pulled over just 2 days ago and got a inspection. No big deal. He shook my hand. We went on about our way. That's his job. That's his job. Do we like to get pulled over and delayed by, inspections? No, we don't, but that's his job. So through all of this, just remember, you're going to improve all of the time. There's nothing to be that stressed over. Just calm down, work your way through it, learn slowly as you're going, and then the speed will come, the backing will come, the everything will come. I hope this helped somebody, at least one person out there. Maybe give you a little encouragement. If you would, leave any comments or questions you have down below. Subscribe, like this, share this, and I'll see you in the next video.